यशोदानन्दन नवनचारी जय राधा माधव जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो जय प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय विष्णु परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 10th chapter, text number 9 and 10. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti. Virata Tanaya Tatha. Virata Tanaya Tatha. Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha. Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha. Yuyutsu Gautamo Yamo. Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamo. Rakudarashcha Dhaumyascha. Vrikodarashcha Dhaumyascha. Striyo Matsya Sutadayaha. Striyo Matsya Sutadayaha. Na Sehire Vimuyanto. Na Sehire Vimuyanto. Viraham Sharanga Dhanvanaha. Viraham Sharanga Dhanvanaha. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti. Virat Tanaya Tatha. Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha. Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamo. Vrikodarascha Dhaumyascha. Triyomatsya Sutadayaha. Nasehire Vimuhyanto. Viraham Sharanga Dhanvanaha. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti. Virat Tanaya Tatha. Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha. Surgatamo Yamo. Vrikodarascha Dhaumyascha. Matsya Sutadayaha. Vimuyanto Sharanga Dhanvanaha. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti. Virat Tanaya Tatha. Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha. Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamo. Vrikodarascha dhaumyascha striyo matsya sutadayah nasehi vimuyanto viraham sharanga dhanvanah Subhadra Draupadi Kunti Virata Tanaya Tada Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamao Dhaumyascha Matsya Sutadayaha Nasehire Vimuyanto Hamsharangadhanvanaha Subhadra, the sister of Krishna, Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, Virata Tanaya, the daughter of Virat, Uttara, Tatha, also Gandhari, the mother of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtraha, the father of Duryodhana, Cha, and Yuyutsuhu, the son of Dhritarashtra by his Vaishya wife, Gautamaha, Kripacharya, Yamau, the twin brothers, Nakul and Sahadev, Vrikodaraha, Bhima, Cha, and Dhaumyaha, Dhaumya, Cha, and Striyaha, also the ladies of the palace, Matsya Suta Adayaha, the daughter of a fisherman, Satyavati, Bhishma's stepmother, Na could not, say Hire, tolerate, Vimuhyantaha, almost fainting, Viraham, separation, Sharangadhanvanaha, of Sri Krishna, who bears a conch in his hand. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Kripacharya, Nakul, Sahadev, Bhimsen, Dhaumya, and Satyavati all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna. Please repeat. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Kripacharya, Nakul, Sahadev, Bhimsen, Dhaumya, and Satyavati all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna. Purport. Lord Krishna is so attractive for the living beings, especially for the devotees, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul, under the spell of illusory energy, forgets the Lord, otherwise, he cannot. The feeling of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotees only. After his separation from Vrindavan and the innocent rural cowherd boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their lives. And the separation of Radharani, the most beloved cowherd girl, is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. There is, of course, a difference in the qualities of the transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. That is the attitude of the pure devotee. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is the topmost platform of human consciousness. Feeling viraham sharanga dhanvanaha. Viraham means separation. Sharang Dhanvana is Lord Krishna who bears conch in his hand. So, feeling separation for Lord Krishna. There is the topmost platform of knowledge, consciousness, or spiritual understanding that a person can have. There are different platforms of knowledge, categorized as five in number. Srila Prabhupada explains. The first platform of knowledge is which we perceive from our senses, that is called pratyaksh. Not everything is perceivable. That which we cannot perceive from our senses, how do we get to know about it? We hear from the authorities, and that is called paroksh. Hearing from which authority? Bona fide authorities, Guru Parampara. Otherwise, any authority if we hear, we may get misled. So we hear from Guru Parampara. Pratyaksh, so many things we see around us, but many things we do not see. How big is the universe? I cannot measure. Authorities are telling these are the dimensions of the universe. When universe came into existence, I do not know. Who are the people in charge of maintaining the universe? I have not met them. So this is called, and for that matter, uh, most of the knowledge. It is not, Pratyaksh is very, very less. So how do we get to know all these things? We hear from Guru Parampara. It is called Paroksh. And just hearing is not sufficient. We have to realize that hearing also. Realization means thorough conviction. And that is next level of knowledge. That is called Aparoksh. So first level, through our senses, Pratyaksh. Next level is through Guru Parampara. And higher than that is realization of that knowledge which we hear from Guru Parampara. That is called Aparoksh. I am not the body. We hear. It is told very clearly, Lord Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yaumanam jara. Nayanam chinnanti shastrani. Nayanam dahati pavakah. Na chainam klidyanti apo. Very clearly it is mentioned. Soul cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be moistened, cannot be dried up, cannot be moved in its constitutional position. All these things are very clearly mentioned. But still, after hearing so much, this aparoksh is very difficult to achieve. Realization that I am actually eternal. As soon as I realize that I am eternal, then there is Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. There is no question of any moroseness or anxiety in life. All the moroseness and anxiety is because we are not able to elevate ourselves even to third platform of knowledge, which is called aparoksh, realization of that subject matter. If I realize that I am eternal, then where is the cause of anxiety? It is but a small span of life, temporary. Then a living entity is free. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. There is no hankering in life, and there is no lamentation for any loss. Prasannatma. Living entity is always happy, always joyful. And then there is next level of knowledge. What is that? That is the platform of actually perceiving spiritual existence. That is called adhokshaja. Akshaja means that which is perceived by our senses. That which cannot be perceived by material senses, that is called adhokshaja. The example is Yudhishthir Maharaj when Shishupal is killed. How Shishupal was killed? Using Sudarshan Chakra. He was abusing Lord Krishna. Krishna told 100 times I'll pardon. Then ultimately he gets killed. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj, others they are surprised, those who were on this platform, that how the soul entered Krishna's body. Big yogis are able to do that. And this person, by abusing you, becoming your enemy, he is able to attain the spiritual perfection. He is able to merge in your body. How this extraordinary position is available? So, thus, extraordinary position of Krishna is described. That what is the result of meditating upon Lord Krishna even in animosity? And for that matter, when the plane from Vaikuntha came to receive Dhruv Maharaj, he was very clearly able to see the plane coming down, and he was able to see the Vishnu Dutas. So spiritual plane is made of spirit. So one can perceive when one is on the platform of Adhokshaja. So then we can perceive spiritual reality of Vaikuntha Loka. But the topmost knowledge is even beyond Vaikuntha, and that is not known even to the residents of who are devotees of Lord Vishnu. That is very confidential knowledge, the knowledge of Golok Vrindavan, and that is called Aprakrit. And Golok Vrindavan also, devotees have, as Prabhupada is explaining, different kinds of relationship with Lord Krishna. And every relationship has got a unique mellow. However, anybody who has ever contacted Krishna cannot forget the separation of Krishna even for a moment. And this worshipping of Krishna in separation, this is the topmost ecstasy, feeling separation from Lord Krishna. Devotees were always in shock, it is told here. But this shock, this separation, is the topmost spiritual ecstasy. And knowledge of this is not known. Knowledge of Krishna itself is not there. What to speak of knowing this confidential rasa of separation from Krishna? It is very rare to understand. That is called aprakrit. So we are completely dependent on Lord Krishna to advance in knowledge. A small child is there. For a small child, what is enjoyment? Eating mud or some sugar candy, that is enjoyment for a child. The child is having a small, very small child, toddler is having no idea that there is a very high form of pleasure which is called sex pleasure. Child has idea, small child, no idea. Why? Consciousness is not grown enough. The consciousness of small children is like that of animals. Dog in our house and small child will behave almost the same. But in human form of life, we have got this special opportunity that we are able to advance in our consciousness. And when, by virtue of being in this human body, the consciousness increases, then a living entity is able to understand there is another higher pleasure. Then the child enjoys subtle pleasures, music, literature, and so many other subtle pleasures are there, and sex pleasure. These kinds of pleasures cannot be conceived of when the child is in animal consciousness. But by laws of nature, this much advancement will happen, that one will be able to perceive sex pleasure which is not known to child, but higher than this spiritual pleasure. For this, one has to work to improve consciousness. As people work out here, they go to gyms for exercises and they build their body. Similarly, we have to build our consciousness. We have to work out. We have to work upon the consciousness. We have to take stress to build the body. Similarly, stress has to be taken. Endeavor should be there to build consciousness. And when consciousness improves, then one is able to understand the existence of the spiritual pleasure. Otherwise, it will not be possible. So, what to speak of understanding these mellows with respect to Lord Krishna, of gopis, cowherd boys, and Srimati Radharani, as Prabhupada has described here? People are unable to believe even in their existence. And they question, Lord Krishna existed? Even if they think Lord Krishna existed, they tell Radharani does not exist. Or lot of controversy is there. So it is not possible for them even to put faith in absolute truth. Why does this happen? Swalpa punyavatam rajan vishwasunaya jayate. Because punya is less. When punya is less in our life, we are not able to understand, not able to put faith in the Supreme Lord. So that is why it is very, very important to accumulate punya. What kind of punya? Punya is of three kinds. One punya gives us material benefit, another punya gives us liberation, and the real punya, topmost punya, gives us devotional service. Bhogonmukhi Sukriti, Mokshonmukhi Sukriti, and Bhajanonmukhi Sukriti. Three kinds of Sukritis are there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes. So Bhajanonmukhi or Bhaktonmukhi Sukriti is what we require. So we should be very, very eager to accumulate this punya in our life. So we should be very, very eager to get this punya. And how do we get this punya? Shrinvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto Hiya Bhadrani Vidunoti Surisatam Shrinvatam Sakata Krishna. Simply when we hear about Krishna, we are accumulating pious credits, punya. As we have been discussing always, never mind we are able to understand or not. Prabhupada tells, I personally experienced this from my life. I was very much eager to hear my Guru Maharaj, even though I was not able to understand. And my Guru Maharaj noticed. And thus he showered his mercy. Even though we are not able to understand, Prabhupada tells, whenever you find an opportunity here, Krishna Katha is happening, go and sit down and try to listen. So in this way, it does not matter we are not able to understand. We find any book, we should try to read. We find any lecture, we should try to hear. In this way, we should be very, very eager to accumulate this punya. Shranvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. This punya in our life. That is why Prabhupada quotes very nice shloka from Chanakya Pandit. So one thing is accumulating punya and advancing in our life. Another thing is committing sinful activities. So punya helps us to increase faith, and sinful activities, they finish our faith. A person becomes faithless by sinful activities. So that is why both things should be done. One should increase punya and avoid pap. If we commit sinful activities, we become faithless. A disciple was writing letter to Prabhupada that he was having doubts in the philosophy. So Prabhupada explained, what can I do? You do not follow rules and regulations, then doubts are bound to be there. So if we don't follow the rules and regulations very strictly, then Maya will capture us and doubts will haunt us and we are not able to advance. So it is a science. What is the meaning of science? If you make an experiment, you have standard result. So thus, it is told in Bhagavatam, Shrinvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. When we keep on hearing in a right manner as recommended by the Acharyas, then heart will become cleansed. The result will come. What is the result of this experiment? Hridaroga Kama, the lusty desires from the heart will vanish. And then what will happen? Sitam Sattve Prasidati. Devotee becomes situated in Sattvaguna. And Sattvaguna means happiness. Devotee becomes very happy. This is the result. Anartha nivritti, unwanted habits will go away if you follow. It is called science. So if you follow this process, result is bound to happen. If result is not coming, it means in our process there is some mistake. Otherwise, if we follow standard process, we will get standard result. And then when a devotee becomes very happy, Sitam Sattve Prasidati, Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata, Mukta Sangasya Jayate, becomes liberated from material contamination. In that stage, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, he is able to understand the science of Krishna. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Then one is able to understand Krishna very nicely. Chidyante Hridaya Granthis, Bhidyante Hridaya Granthi, Chidyante Sarva Sanshayaha. All the doubts are resolved. Person gets absolute clarity. This happens when a person reaches the platform of liberation. As long as we are in clutches of material modes of nature, Vishvaso naiva jayate. Thorough conviction and faith does not awaken in the heart. On the platform of liberation, a person gets thoroughly convinced. It is bound to happen. So that is why Chanakya Pandit quotes, Tyaj Durjan Sansargam, Bhaj Sadhu Samagamam. How do we commit sinful activities? In wrong association. Everything is the result of our entire life is association. Tyaj Durjan Sansargam, Bhaj Sadhu Samagamam. So avoid association of Durjan, sinful people, materialists, and by all means try to associate with sadhu, saintly people. It is for this reason that in India we have these great spiritual conferences which are called Kumbh Mela and other occasions. So these are spiritual conferences where people assemble to hear from sadhus and ascertain what is absolute truth. They will do austerity. There is Magh Mela. Magh means it is cold. And in chilly winters, one will go and live on the riverside and take cold water bath. How does it make any sense? In winters, you are taking cold water bath, living on the riverside. You can go in summers or any other season, but no tapasya. When we do this tapasya, we become eligible to receive spiritual knowledge. So that is why in winters you must go there. And people would stay there, perform this austerity of taking cold water bath in winters and other austerities. They live for a month and then associate with sadhus. So as much as possible, we should associate with sadhus. Whatever habits we want to cultivate, it is not possible to cultivate in isolation. We should try to find association. Association of the devotees is the greatest asset of our life. And perfection is bound to happen in our life if we simply live in the association of devotees. It is bound to happen. It is like we have boarded a train which is going for spiritual perfection, spiritual destination. That is why it is told in the scriptures everywhere. Naham brahmapi bhuyasam tvad bhakti rahito hare. Tvai bhaktastu kitopi bhuyasam janma janmusu. Let me take birth as an insect. Never mind, even I am born as an insect, but in the house of a devotee. Just imagine how much devotee association is important. So this much eagerness should be there for the association of devotees. Prabhupada explains, now we are very much eager. There is some concert happening in Mumbai. What is that, Coldplay? Huh? And tickets are sold out. How many people were in the fray to purchase tickets? 1.5 crores, I think. They locked down to purchase the tickets. And it is not very famous band also. But still people are so much after it. I want to pay 1.5 crore people. And tickets are 5,000 to 35,000 rupees. And now they got sold out. Now they are selling for 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees. Person is spending to hear that music. Acha, now they are going Dubai to attend same thing. They are so eager for Durjan Association. So eager to destroy. This is called the life of moth. Moth is very eager to jump into fire. When will I jump? When will I jump? But anyway, it depends on modes of nature. So in our college also, we had a rock concert. We were from small town and there was no rock music there. So we went to college and rock concert was organized. I thought, okay, let us see. It is very wonderful. Whole world listens to rock music. I went there. I could not sit for more than 10 minutes. It was so disturbing. But somehow I tolerated. I thought, okay, maybe next performance may not be like this. Next performance, oh, wild. as if they have become haunted. They are shaking with their heads so violently. I don't know what has happened to these people. And the music they are playing is so, it is so intolerable, useless noise. I told, even if you give me money, I cannot sit. What is we of paying for the concert? So some of us friends who are following spiritual life, we could not tolerate at all. We are not into Krishna consciousness, some other abhas of spiritual life, some sattvic practices, but we could not tolerate. Very, very difficult. So anyway, so people are so very much eager for these mundane things, mundane association. Prabhupada explains, when you become equally eager to have association of devotees, then you should understand you are liberated. We should so much hanker to live with devotees. We should so much relish living with devotees that we should be willing to leave everything just to associate with the devotees. So when we are so much attracted by devotee association, then we should understand I am liberated. This is the symptom. On liberated platform, we are attracted by devotees. And in conditioned life, we are attracted by the three modes of nature, sattva, rajas, or tamas. Rock music or some sattvic music. Sitar music is sattvic. This electronic music is tamasic. But both of them are in the control of three modes of nature. When a devotee is attracted to the names of Krishna, that is called liberated platform, Shuddha Sattvic. So when I'm very much eager, hankering for devotee association, we should hanker only for this thing. When will I get devotee association? I can give up all the attainments of my life. I can give up the best of the offers. I can give up best of the opportunities just for availing association of devotees. We should hanker so much after it. This hankering, of course, one may ask, how do I get this hankering? So Prabhupada explains, this is called sadhana bhakti. You practice it and then feeling will come. So first force yourself to live in the association of devotees, even though we might not hanker for it. But Krishna sees, he wants to develop taste for it. That is why Prabhupada mentions the Sahajiyas, they are better than impersonalists. Who are Sahajiyas? Sahaj means simple. They take bhakti very, very simply. It's a very simple thing. Need not follow rules and regulations, all these things. Need not apply mind in understanding philosophy. Sit in front of Krishna and shed tears. They practice shedding tears. That is the practice. By practice, you can do that. Hmm? Like film actors, actresses, they practice shedding tears. We might not be able to cry like that, but they are able to do it artificially. Similarly, some people practice to shed tears sitting in front of Krishna. But one who can cry for Krishna, there would be no material desire. But they shed tears for Krishna, at the same time maintain illicit sex and all these uh, illegal relationships, even in the holy places. But even these people are better than impersonalists. Why? Impersonalist does not want to serve Krishna. They are at least trying to imitate devotees, advanced devotees. Because they are trying to imitate, Krishna will give them opportunity to become devotee in future lifetimes. So even though we do not have hankering for the devotee, hankering will not come. We have to practice living in the association of devotees. We should choose in life, I want to live with devotees always. Then if you show this eagerness to Krishna, no Krishna, I want to live, even though I do not have taste. So this is the first step in spiritual realization. Material life means always I am thinking my taste, my taste, my taste. Spiritual life means it is yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Spiritual life is a sacrifice. We should learn to sacrifice our time, our pleasure, our energy for Krishna. I am not getting pleasure, that is all right. But it is told in the Shastras, Krishna gets pleasure, so I should do that. So if I live with devotees, Krishna is very much pleased. If I honor only Krishna Prasadam, Krishna is pleased. Prabhupada tells deities are specially pleased and they are specially merciful at the time of Mangalarti. If I attend Mangalarti, Krishna is pleased. I may not have taste, but I will do it because Krishna is specially pleased at this time. We were traveling to Ahmedabad. Usually we book a train at night and morning it reaches. So we take a cab usually to reach the temple.
So we got a Muslim driver, and usually we reach in the morning time, 4, 5 o'clock our train reaches. And then he was telling, this time is very nice. In our Quran, it is written, this time is very nice time because you get best sleep in this time, in the early morning hours. So at this time, if you get up for Allah, for the Almighty, then your life will be successful. So they also understand it. This is the best time to sleep. But at this time, one who can compromise his sleep, who can get up and engage in the service of the Lord, then his spiritual life is bound to get perfected very soon. So one should practice it as a matter of sacrifice, this spiritual life. Now I stop thinking about my pleasure. I think what is Krishna's pleasure? And thus I follow things very, very rigorously. So thus we should be very eager to live in the association of devotees. And when I live, then gradually we will increase our hankering to live with devotees always. Living with devotees is so nice that it is told, Naham Brahmapi Bhuyasam. All the material advantages, the greatest advantage in material world is becoming Brahma. There is no position greater than Brahma. Brahma is as powerful as Lord Vishnu. He can create our destiny. Just imagine. People are eager to know destinies, change destinies, and Brahma is creating our destiny. He's so powerful. He has created different planetary systems. He has created different bodies. But one is devotee is willing to give up Brahma's post also, simply to take birth as an insect. Insect is very troublesome, very inferior life. But if he is born in the house of a devotee, that is why Chanakya Pandit is telling, Tyaja Durjan Sansargam, leave the association of non-devotees. Our entire consciousness, our decision, everything depends upon our association. So we should leave association of non-devotees and live. Living is very important. That is why Narottam Das Thakur has told, Bhakta Sanevas, Tadiya Charan Sevi, Bhakta Sanevas. One should serve the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, of the spiritual master, living and live in the association of devotees. Unless one lives in the association of devotees, one cannot advance in spiritual life. Not possible. Living is very, very important. Bhakta Sanevas. So this is extraordinary life that we have got, that we are able to afford this opportunity of living. We should never lose this chance. Entire life, life after life, we should just hanker to live in the association of devotees. Bhakt Sane Vas. Vas means living. Unless we live, it is not possible to advance. If we are not living with devotees, we are living with non-devotees and we'll pick up their habits. We cannot avoid. We are conditioned living entities. We are conditioned by the association. If we are not with devotees, we are with non-devotees and we'll pick up their qualities. So that is why Tyaja Durjan Sansargam. As soon as possible, we leave the association of non-devotees and live with devotees. Bhaja sadhu samagamam. And then what we should do in the association of devotees? Eat and sleep very nicely? Yes, now I'm living. Now let me enjoy. In association of devotees, let me do sense gratification? No. Kuru punyam ahoratriyam. Smar nityam anityatam. Always you should remember you are living with devotees. This life is temporary. Anytime it can end. So always you should remember Smar Nityam. Nityam means constantly. Constantly you should remember what? Anityatam. That this world is not constant. We will not always remain in this human body. Who knows what will be next body? Where will I go? Whether I will get devotee association or not. Always I should remember. Famous YouTubers were discussing with each other. Both are having 10 million plus followers. So one was, they were discussing their attire. They usually wear simple clothes. Why? They are so passionate about making videos that they don't want to consume their mental energy in deciding which clothes to wear. So one of them wears a plain t-shirt, another wears a t-shirt, standard t-shirt, indicating how much time is left in his life. How does he know? He is expecting that he will live as per standard expectancy of his country. So he has written some 39%. And other person's t-shirt is plain. That's why you wear plain and this thing. Just know this is scary. If you see how much time is left in your life, it reminds you are going to die. It is scary. So people don't want to think this, but this is fact. We should always remember any time we will die. And once we die, then everything, whatever we have gained here, we have to lose. So what is the use of spending any moment in material activities? Material activities don't satisfy, rather, they increase troubles in our life. So every spend, Kuru Punyam Aho Ratriam. Ratri means night, Aha means day. So that is why day and night, every moment should be invested in doing punya. What kind of punya? Shrunvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Chanting and hearing as much as possible every moment. So living with devotees means, Prabhupada explains, insect is also living, everybody is living, they will take advantage. But living with devotees, real advantage means discussing. Bodhayanta parasparam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Discussion of Krishna Katha should happen. This is the most powerful spiritual activity. When devotees discuss about Krishna, Krishna becomes very pleased. Satam prasangan mama viri samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kathaha. Satam, when devotees, prasangat, when Krishna Katha is discussed in the association of devotees, then what happens? Mama viri samvido, the potency is revealed of Krishna Katha. So that is why we should be very, very eager to hear Krishna Katha, which is happening in the association of devotees. Then the potency will be let loose by Krishna. That is why all the sages from all across the universe, they assembled to hear the discussion between Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Satam Prasangan. The potency of Krishna Katha is going to be revealed. So as soon as we understand devotees have assembled to discuss Krishna Katha, we should be very eager to hear that Krishna Katha. So this is the advantage of living with devotees, that we are able to have this opportunity always. But if we do not discuss, then we are not taking sufficient advantage. So with devotees, we should always be discussing. Prabhupada explains, Rup Goswami explains, that we have to hanker for spiritual advancement. Prabhupada explains, I am following the rules and regulations very strictly, but I am stuck up in the same place, no spiritual advancement. This is also an impediment. This is called niyamagraha. Following rules and regulations just for the sake of following, without analyzing whether I am making spiritual advancement. Because Bhakti Yoga is a science. If I follow standard process, there is standard output. So one should see whether I am making spiritual advancement or not. And if I am not seeing that, I am simply satisfied following rules and regulations, that is impediment in bhakti and spiritual life. So I should constantly see that I am advancing in my spiritual life. Yes, I am following, I am very punctual. I am dead punctual in my sadhana, and I am following all the rules. But next stage is not coming. What is next stage? That is called Madhyam Adhikari. Avyartha Kalatvam. The symptom is not even a moment should be wasted without serving Krishna. This is called sadhana bhakti. Prabhupada explains. What is sadhana? What practice we are doing? Sadhana bhakti means seeing that not even a moment passes away without serving Krishna. Not even a moment is spent in sense gratification. This practice we have to do. Engaging in service of Krishna 24 hours constantly. I never forget chanting the names of Krishna, never forget his lotus feet, never forget engaging in his service. And then Namagane Sada Ruchi. I take pleasure in chanting the holy name of Krishna always. This pleasure should awaken. Priti Stad Vasati Sthale. I should take pleasure in visiting or living in holy places where Krishna is worshipped very nicely. Priti Stad Vasati Sthale. Sometimes devotees tell, Prabhu, why do we go Vrindavan every time? Okay, we have seen, let us go to different places. So no, we have not awakened the pleasure. We should hanker. When will I go again, Vrindavan? How much can I go? Preeti is one should love it. Of course, as we understand from the life of Srila Prabhupada, for the service of Krishna, such strong affection for the holy dham can also be forsaken for the higher purpose. Then dham will manifest wherever we are. If for sense gratification we go to dham, we will not feel that we are in dham. We will feel we are in material world. We will not have entry. But yes, one should have strong hankering. As Prabhupada was always, Prabhupada told, I am missing Vrindavan. I am here when Prabhupada was traveling on Jalduta. I'm missing Holy Dham. I'm missing Govind Dev Ji. I'm missing Gopinath. So Prabhupada was missing, just like we are missing here. Viraham Sharanga Dhanvanaha. But this missing, this separation is the topmost platform of spiritual perfection. So for this, but otherwise, yes, devotee is not going away because he does not have taste. So we should see that taste we are able to cultivate in our life. I should see that these things are increasing in our life. And most important, preaching activity that is called Madhyamadhikari. I am going out to preach. This result will come automatically. If we have heard nicely, we have followed rules and regulations, tremendous eagerness will be there to tell others about this message. So by this, we can see whether I am advancing in my spiritual life or not. Otherwise, if Prabhupada, we are following rules and regulations very nicely, but we are stuck up in the same position, same habit, same contamination, then that is niyamagraha. We should hanker for spiritual advancement. So this Krishna consciousness attaining this extraordinary position of Viraha Sharanga Dhanvanaha, this is possible only when we hanker for it. When we are very, very enthusiastic to attain it. Without enthusiasm, spiritual perfection is not possible. When I speak of enthusiasm, it means passion, what Karmis tell outside. Strong passion means very strong desire to attain that position. So unless we have that same enthusiasm to attain spiritual perfection, Prabhupada said it is not possible. Even in material field of affairs, in order to become successful, a student, businessman, or anybody has to be very, very enthusiastic. Even though I have to burn the midnight oil, midnight lamp, whatever they call it, I work very hard because I'm very much enthusiastic. I want this position. 75% of people in corporate, they are in great stress, especially in India, but still they work. Why? They are very, very enthusiastic to attain certain position. So without enthusiasm, it is not possible to become successful even in this material field, material activity. Nobody can become successful. Same enthusiasm should be there for spiritual life. Enthusiasm is like an engine. Same enthusiasm, same hankering. Hankering is the only price. When will I get this position? When will I get this position? When will I also feel the separation from Krishna? One should hanker for it. So when I was in Bangalore getting trained, so two devotees were discussing with each other. Sometimes in ashram also we have feast because many devotees are very new and too simple food might not be, they might not be very convenient. So Prabhupada told, okay, once in a week allowed, you can have it. But then these devotees were not bothered even about the feasts or other things. So these devotees were not bothered about anything else. Why? So I heard them what they were discussing. They told entire life we have spent eating, but we could not develop attraction for Krishna. What is the use? So let me just focus on serving Krishna. Whatever prasadam is available by the mercy of Krishna, let me just remain satisfied with that. So they spent considerable time in the movement they were discussing. I was very glad. How nice consciousness. So they have developed, they are developing this hankering. So much we have eaten, but we have not developed love of Krishna. What is the use of this eating? Rather, this enjoyment has kept us away from Krishna, this material gratification. So while we should be very, very eager, we should be very careful the activities which kill this eagerness, and that is sense enjoyment. That is why the rules and regulations should be followed very strictly. Regulative principles should be followed very strictly. Sense gratification of any kind, it kills jnana vijnana nashanam, the urge for spiritual advancement. And it is this strong urge only which is the cost of attaining this Krishna consciousness. So thus we should avoid the association of non-devotees, and we should by all means always live in the association of devotees. Find a place, find an occupation, find a country where we can live with devotees. And in association of devotees, always remember this life is temporary. Why should I waste single moment in material advancement? That moment is wasted. Wasted. In that I could have made spiritual growth. But I wasted for material advancement. What is the use? Ultimately, I get more distress by working hard for material life. So every moment, Kuru Punyam Ahoratriyam, should be used for punya as much as possible, serving Krishna, hearing about Krishna, discussing Krishna. Always we should be analyzing, otherwise we also fall for niyamagraha. So if we follow the rules and regulations nicely, following these principles, then like the devotees mentioned here, we might also one day be able to attain this platform of feeling separation from Krishna, which is called aprakrit, topmost platform of spiritual understanding. But we must be very, very enthusiastic. We must hanker to attain this position. Without hankering, without enthusiasm, material or spiritual perfection does not come. We will end here. Any questions? Hare Krishna. Mm. Yes. Yes. Okay. So the question is why we are telling that electronic music is tamasic and some other music is sattvic, because it depends upon the use. So yes, I was referring to that particular use. So that music is tamasic. Yes, devotees use electrical instruments also. Synthesizer is also electrical and everything for the service of Krishna. So that is good. Very nice question. So we discussed we have to develop hankering for service of Krishna, and sometimes we like also particular service. Sometimes devotees are very eager to sing kirtan, but others may not be very eager to hear. So we are giving a unique term for these people. There are various. When Krishna was coming every day, he was killing one asura, Bakasura, Ghasura. So some people who are hankering very much to hold the mic, we would call them Maikasura. Never leave the mic. So anyway. So yes, so the question is there could be sense gratification in some service also. That is gratifying my senses and not exactly, might not be exactly senses of Krishna. How do I understand? But then I should hanker again, we discussed. So that is why authorization is required, Prabhupada explains. One senior sannyasi, he asked the same question to Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, I'm very much attached. He was given service of developing Mayapur Dham. I'm very much attached to this place. Prabhupada told it is very good. Rather, this is your qualification. You should get very much attached to your service. This is the price for Krishna consciousness. So we should be attached to authorized service. So that is the authorization is required. And this attachment is our qualification. This is very good. We should have it. Yes. Yes. So the question is, we have our own individual likings, but authorized service attraction for it does not come spontaneously. Yes, so many times it might not be spontaneous, so we practice it. And that is why spontaneous devotional service is on higher platform. Sadhana bhakti means we apply ourselves to it and then we try to cultivate attachment for it. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Yes. 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 So the question is, how is it possible? Because Vaikuntha bodies means Satchidanand bodies. How is it possible that they are not knowing? So actually in Vaikuntha there is Anand realization. Sat and Chit realization is there in Brahma Jyoti also. But nevertheless, this knowledge is covered. They will have complete knowledge about this material existence, that this is illusory. They will have knowledge also about Brahma Jyoti, but it does not mean they will have complete knowledge. Nobody has complete knowledge. Vrijvasis also are covered in their knowledge, but that covering, it helps us to serve Krishna nicely. So thus everybody's knowledge is covered. Yes, so now the question is whether they, out of choice, do not serve Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, or they do not know. So both cases are possible. One may not know, as it is mentioned even about Dwarkavasis in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that Dwarkavasis, they thought that Krishna is the incarnation of Paramatma. Lord Vishnu, he has incarnated. We are so fortunate. The Lord who lives in our heart, he has incarnated and we are living with him. Unfortunately, they could not understand that he is the source of Paramatma. So even Dwarkavasis were not aware of this thing. However, Prabhupada also mentions devotees like Narad Muni, they are very much aware. They know there is Golok Vrindavan and Narayan, but out of choice they serve. So both kind of positions are possible. That I do not know, he shares or not, but Narad Muni knows, and out of choice he chooses to worship Narayan. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Very nice question. So, what kind of association we should have? Association of non-initiated devotees or association of initiated devotees? Because initiated means more chances of spiritual perfection or advancement. So, definitely we should try to live in association of advanced devotees. Everyone who chants name of Krishna is a devotee. Sahjiya is also devotee, but he is neophyte devotee. Chants names of Krishna, but not fixed up in Vaishnava character. So it is told, do not associate thickly with them, offer all Vaishnava respects. So we should be careful. That is why this another reason why different categories of devotees are mentioned by Rupa Goswami. One reason we see that we are advancing in spiritual platform, spiritual life, thus different gradations are given. Another is we see which devotees situated on higher platform and we associate with them. So we should try to associate with advanced devotees. And which kind of advanced devotees Prabhupada explains? Uttam Adhikari, very, very highly elevated soul who is always absorbed in mellows of loving attraction for Krishna service and always thinking how to spread Krishna consciousness across the world. Prabhupada tells. So we are very fortunate. We are Srila Prabhupada. So we should have his association. Now, of course, how can I do that? Could be next question. So I cannot live with initiated devotees very easily. So you are invited. Everyone is invited. That is why we have created this opportunity. But nevertheless, the association, if it is authorized, then we are safe. Everything depends upon authorization. So sometimes some devotees were telling uh, that Prabhupada, I am alone here doing service. So Prabhupada's devotee is never alone. He is with Paramatma. So here, apparently, even without association, Prabhupada is encouraging because that was need of the hour. It is not generally recommended. Generally, Prabhupada would tell at least two devotees should go whenever they are going. At least one more devotee should be there for association. But in some circumstances, some situations like this devotee was alone, but it was authorized. So authorization has got great power. So what kind of association we should have? It should be authorized. And of course, when we follow that thing, association of advanced devotees will be possible always. So if we strictly follow authorities, then we can have association of Srila Prabhupada directly. We'll feel Prabhupada tells you follow the rules and regulations nicely. And then you will always feel the presence of my body with you. We will be in Prabhupada's association always. So in this way, we can have Prabhupada's association simply by following his rules and regulations and the authorized association for us. Yes. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Yes. Okay. Hmm. Yes. 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 Okay. Yes. Oh. So question is, people who follow different faith or other religion, they also have some austerities. What will be their fate, ultimate destination? Because we know we have to think of Krishna at the time of death. Antakale cha mam eva, me only, smaran muktva kalevaram, he comes to me. So yes, definitely, if we do not know Krishna, how can we go to Krishna? It is not possible. So that is why in other uh, religions and even in Sanatan Dharma, also going to Krishna, people don't aspire for general punya. They want to go to heavenly planets. Similarly, in other religions also, the aim is on going to heavenly planet, to go to heaven or Jannat, whatever they call it, and have heavenly pleasures. At least you will have more sattva in your life, and then from there, gradually, there is a scope of further elevation. At least come to the platform of sattva and come to, so generally they recommend pious activities. So thus one day they'll be able to come to platform of devotional service. Some who are very eager, they will take to Krishna Bhakti directly and go to Krishna. There are some people, they don't, who are broad minded, they don't stick to their faith in which they are born. They are eager to understand what is absolute truth. And thus they are, if one is sincere, Krishna will guide. Any questions online? So question is, a pure devotee cannot forget Krishna, cannot bear separation from him even for a moment. So we were also pure devotees, how it happened. So yeah, that is why it is told it is exception. Generally, the devotees never forget. Majority of the living entities are pure devotees and they always live in Krishna, with Krishna in his association. But some living entities, they develop envy of Krishna. And that is why it is told here. In conditioned life, one forgets Krishna, otherwise, it is not possible in our normal consciousness. So, when the consciousness gets polluted by envy, then living entity, he goes away from Krishna. Question is, in the association of devotees, because of the anarthas of the devotees, we get into trouble. So, how to tackle that? Yes, that is why we discussed we have to associate with advanced devotees. Devotees will never tell associate with a person who is not following Krishna consciousness nicely. Yes, sometimes we have such association. So we have to be careful. Sometimes you may find devotees, uh, even in some devotees living in temple, till temple life is not so good. They will be rare, but then, yeah, just like we elevate ourselves in spiritual life, we can degrade ourselves in spiritual life also. So we should be very, very careful. Simply anybody who's wearing white saffron, having shikha, does not mean their consciousness also will be elevated. And somebody in simple dresses, Western dresses or shirt, pants, or without dress also, like Shukdev Goswami, could be most elevated in spiritual life. So we should be very conscious that we associate with the right kind of devotees, advanced devotees. That's it. We'll finish. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.